Hi there, Iurii. I'm very happy to see that you've sent us an essay for correction. I saw that you've taken IELTS before, so let's see what you wrote in this particular essay to see how we can help you achieve your IELTS goal. Before I start actually correcting your essay, I want to point out something about paragraphing. Paragraphing in Task 2 is actually really rather important. It is part of your coherence and cohesion score, and if you look at the band descriptors, you'll see where it mentions paragraphing. You cannot get a 6 if you don't have clear paragraphing. Looking here at this, the paragraphing is not clear. It just looks like one big lump of text. So my first comment to you would be absolutely 100% to make sure that you leave an entire line between your paragraphs, okay? This way there can be no doubt as to where the paragraphs end, where the paragraphs begin. Just make sure you leave an entire line. All right, so that was the first thing. Now let's take a look at what you said. Some people consider international marketing to affect local economy in a way much aggressive form. Others believe it to have a positive educational influence. In my essay, I'm going to discuss this controversial topic and take a look at both sides. Okay, so let's say a couple of things about this introduction. First of all, I didn't understand this. In a way, much aggressive form. I didn't understand that. Grammatically, it seems to be wrong. So in an extremely aggressive form, in a very aggressive form, might have made sense. And it should be to affect the local economy in a very aggressive form. And then this was fine. Now, let's talk about this last sentence where you say what you're going to discuss. The essay topic is actually very clear. They're asking you to discuss both sides and give your opinion. You need to address that in your introduction. So it's not enough just to say that you're going to address both sides, but you actually need to say what your position is. They've asked you for your opinion, and so if you're aiming for a Band 7 in task achievement, it's important to make sure that your position is clear from the beginning of your essay. All right, so let's move on. On the one hand, international marketing, get rid of the. On the one hand, international marketing is a proactive way to address the local consumers, find out their needs and preferences, and promote your brand. It is often used by large companies before entering the local market or before launching a new product in the form of marketing surveys and focus groups consisting of citizens of the country in question. It continues ever after as an aggressive advertising campaign. The budget of such marketing campaigns is always enormous, and of course, a company marketing department, you don't need these commas here, that develop it often knows what it is doing quite well. So it often have a large influence on a market and small local competitors of a given company. They have to move and shrink to give space for the entering colossus. Therefore, they lose part of their income, and some of them often have to leave the market. Obviously, it can be perceived as a destructive effect, and governments often have to take action to protect the local companies. Okay. There are a couple of things happening, Iurii, in this paragraph. The first thing that's happening is some grammar issues. I didn't correct a lot of the grammar as I was reading. I just kind of wanted to read it through. And then the other thing that's happening is that you're not really answering the question. It's clear to me that you have information, you have knowledge about the topic, you understand what international marketing is, but this isn't a paragraph that is developed in a way that reads like an academic essay. It really just rather reads like a stream of consciousness, like you're basically telling us what international marketing is, and then just kind of, just explaining it, which isn't really what you're supposed to do. So the first thing essentially is that it needs to be structured appropriately. All right, you need to have a clear topic sentence. You need to have a couple of main ideas about the about how international marketing does these positive things that we talked about in the task, in the prompt, where they say that, it helps spread ideas, it helps spread language, it helps spread culture, it's an economical form of education. All right, so you have to develop a paragraph with maybe about 2 main ideas and explaining those main ideas, presuming, of course, that they're talking about those things that I just said, the economical form of education, sharing of ideas, language, and culture. This is not happening here, okay? In fact, I can't really say what this is about. Like I said, it felt to me really like you were explaining for a very long time how international marketing works, but that's not what they were asking you to talk about. Okay, I didn't see this as being about the negative side of international marketing either, where it's talking about marketing as being invasive and intrusive. Maybe I got that at the very end. You said they lose part of their income and some of them have to leave the market, but that isn't really enough to make me understand that this is, international marketing is invasive and intrusive. So, like I said, I thought that this had some major problems in terms of both the development and the organization, the progression of your ideas. So it's a paragraph definitely needs some work. Okay. Now I would like to talk a little bit about the grammar. Let's see. Of the country in question, it continues after words as an aggressive marketing campaign. You didn't need those commas here. Knows what is doing quite well. That's fine. It often has a large influence on a market. And the small local competitors of the given company. Okay, and then I think the rest was fine. All right, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, really rather winding road in order to get to this idea of the destructive effect. All right, whereas it should have been clear throughout this idea of invasion and intrusion. Let's move on now. Okay, on the other hand, local customers get a new, better product, often for a lower price. They also get a better service because an international company has probably already faced a lot of usual issues connected to the product and knows how to solve them. Also, in that way, people get a totally new product that have never existed on their market. Wait, no. You already said that. You said they get a new product, all right, and then you're saying it again. So careful with this repetition. Also, in that way, people get a totally new product that never existed in their markets, fulfilling the unfulfilled desire. In the form of advertisements, comma, fresh ideas enter the minds of local consumers. All these effects are obviously good. All right. Is this it? That's your paragraph, and then here's a conclusion? All right. This is really underdeveloped. All right. It's just not enough. I mean, look how long this paragraph was and how much you talked about this, even though, like I said, it wasn't really on topic. And then here you've got about half the size dedicated to the positives of this. There needs to be some better vocabulary. All these effects are obviously good. I mean, good is not really a high-level vocabulary word. There were lots of other things you could have said. All these effects are obviously beneficial. They're obviously positive. They're obviously a wonderful source of information in language and culture for the host country. I mean, there were tons of things you could have said. Okay. And again, as I already mentioned, there's some problems with the development here. Not only was it underdeveloped, but you're not supporting anything. It just feels like you've got some ideas, but there's no support to them. You said they get a better price for a lower they get a better product for a lower price. You never explained it. You never went into details. You never supported that at all. Okay. Here you supported this idea a little bit. And then you talked about this unfulfilled desire. You need to go into more detail. You need to explain it. So you've got a lot of ideas. None of them are supported. Okay. And that's going to be a problem because then that's considered an undeveloped essay. All right. In my opinion, the truth is somewhere in between. New products and services for the market are unquestionably good. Good is not a word you want to use in IELTS, but local companies should be protected from the destructive influence of a large overseas competitor. Let's get rid of anyway. It sounds too conversational. You could have just said something like, in the end, competition drives a market and a society into a better future. All right, that's a nice sentence to end with. But the rest of the essay, it has a lot of ideas, and like I said, it sounds like you knew what you were talking about, but you really need some structure to this essay. You need some good, how can I put this, a good skeleton to help you kind of put these ideas appropriately together, link them together so you have a really strong, cohesive essay. So I really want to recommend to you to take a look at the online course. I think the information that you'll find in the course is going to be exactly what you need to help you kind of cross that hump and get to the 7 that you're looking for. So that's what I want to recommend to you. I'd also really love to see what you're writing with a task 1. That would be useful information as well. So I'd like to see you on the course. I really think that it's the kind of information that will make all the difference in the world. So hopefully we'll see you on the course. I want to wish you lots of luck.